You know, in any big factory, there's this kind of invisible shield keeping everyone safe, but it's not made of steel. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the official safety plan for one factory to see how it works. And what we're going to find is a pretty surprising secret about who's really holding that shield.
All right, let's play a little game. Picture a pudding factory. What comes to mind? Probably, huge vats of pudding, maybe some big warm ovens. But here's the question. What do you think is the single most dangerous thing in that whole place? I'll bet the answer is not what you're thinking. It's not the heat, it's the cold. Yeah, really. See, to keep all that pudding fresh, you need a seriously powerful industrial refrigeration system. And it turns out the chemical that's flowing through all those pipes, that's the real hidden danger.
Okay, so what is this stuff? And what makes a simple cooling system so risky? Well, it all boils down to one specific chemical. The chemical is called anhydrous ammonia. And you don't need to be a chemist to understand why it's a big deal. The company's own documents basically call it a triple threat. If you breathe it in, it's toxic. If it touches you, it's corrosive to your skin, your eyes, and, get this, if the conditions are right, it's even flammable. So yeah, this is some seriously nasty stuff. And that's exactly why having a rock-solid safety plan isn't just, a nice suggestion, it's the law.
So we've got the hazard. Now let's talk about the shield. And I want to be clear, this isn't just a binder full of rules sitting on a shelf. We're talking about a huge, comprehensive program that's actually required by the federal government. The official name for this shield is Process Safety Management, or PSM for short. Think of it as the master playbook. It's mandated by OSHA, that's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and its entire purpose, its whole reason for being, is to stop a chemical release from ever happening in the first place. It's all about planning for anything and everything that could go wrong way ahead of time. And when I say comprehensive, I mean it. This thing is massive. It's built on 14 different parts, covering, well, everything. Training, making sure the machines are sound, what to do if something does happen. But look closely. What's element number 1? Right there at the top of the list. Employee participation. And trust me, that is absolutely not a coincidence. This whole system is meant to be this giant interlocking machine.
Now, to make things a little more interesting, PSM isn't the only program out there. You might also hear about something called RMP, the Risk Management Program. It's super easy to mix them up, but the difference is actually pretty simple. Think of it this way. PSM is from OSHA, and it's all about protecting the people inside the building. RMP is from the EPA, and it's about protecting everybody and everything outside the building, the public, the environment. So you've got two different shields, really, working in tandem.
Okay, so we've got this huge, official, government-mandated program. Sounds pretty solid, right? But here's the thing, and this is the most important part of this whole story. A plan is just a bunch of words on paper. A system like this is only ever as good as the people who are actually living it, day in and day out. And you don't have to take my word for it. This quote, right from the company's own plan, says it all. It calls employee involvement a critical defense. I love that phrase. Why? Because it leverages frontline knowledge. What does that really mean? It means the whole system is built on one simple, powerful idea. The people who work with the machines every single day are the ones who know them best. Their knowledge isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential to making the whole thing work. Okay, involvement, frontline knowledge, that all sounds good, but what does it actually look like in practice? How does it work? Well, the plan is super specific about this. It lays out a really clear chain of command, a structure for who's responsible for what. So you can see here, it starts at the top, right? The plant manager's job is to make sure everyone has what they need, the resources, the support. Then you've got managers and supervisors coordinating everything. But look where it ends up, the employees. And their role is not to just sit back and listen. They are required to jump in, to participate in reviews, to give feedback on the procedures. It's designed to be a conversation, a two-way street. And this chart really drives that point home. Safety isn't just one person's job or one department's problem. Look at this grid. The X is like the team captain for a specific task, but the B's are the backup, the support crew. And for the really big stuff like analyzing potential dangers or figuring out what went wrong after an incident, you can see it's a team sport. You got engineering, maintenance, safety, they're all in it together. Everybody is holding a piece of that shield. And this isn't some informal, hey, let us know if you see something kind of deal. It's formalized. This is not a suggestion box that just gets emptied once a year.
The plan explicitly says that employees have to have a seat at the table for the most important safety discussions. We're talking about analyzing hazards, investigating incidents, and even helping create the training programs themselves. It's real involvement.
So when they're at that table, what are they actually looking for? Well, this gives you a little taste. This is from a real hazard form. And it's not just about the big, obvious thing like, what if the ammonia leaks? No, they're trained to think about everything. What about frostbite from the liquid ammonia? What about a pipe bursting from too much pressure? What about, and this is a crazy one, gravity? Like, what if a heavy valve just falls off from the ceiling? That's what we mean by frontline knowledge. And this isn't something you learn once and then forget. The commitment is continuous. The plan requires everyone to go through this training all over again, at least every 3 years. It's about keeping that knowledge fresh and sharp. All right, let's zoom out and put all the pieces together. We've got a dangerous chemical, a super detailed safety program to manage it, and a clear system for getting employees involved. So, what's the point of it all? What's the big takeaway here? Well, it really all comes back to this quote, doesn't it? A critical defense. At the end of the day, you can have the fanciest, most detailed plan in the world, but it's not worth much without the real-world knowledge of the people on the factory floor. What makes this system powerful is that it's built to value expertise over job titles. It's about what you know, not who you report to. Because ultimately, what this whole plan is trying to do is build something bigger than just a set of rules. It's trying to build a culture of safety. It's about getting everyone to understand that the shield we talked about, it isn't held by just one person. It's held by everyone, together. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. And it goes way beyond this one factory. In any complicated situation, is it possible that the person who's closest to the risk is also the person who holds the key to the solution? Based on what we've seen today, the answer seems to be a pretty resounding yes.